Well, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, and yesterday evening, I went out for a long drive in the fire truck, and came back, turned it off, turned it back on again, about 10 minutes later, and as I was leaving the house, the engine started surging and sputtering. It felt like I was getting, just surges of power followed by surges of lack of power. I decided to turn the truck around and come home. And as soon as I got home, the check engine light came on. And so the interesting thing about this truck is, and I've mentioned this before, this is one of the very earliest computer-controlled engine and transmission setups in a heavy truck, certainly in a fire truck. So it is engine computer controlled, and it has a very rudimentary engine diagnostic system where it will attempt to try and give you a readout on what exactly is wrong with the engine and turn on the check engine light and that type of thing. So I came home and started to do some research. I'm like, okay, I have to figure out how to hook into this thing. Is there a scan tool I have to go on eBay and find? How does it work? So I stumbled upon a outstanding website called the Bluebird Wander Lodge Owners Forum. If you're not familiar, Bluebird, as in the company that makes school buses, they also used to make a high-end RV called the Wander Lodge. And many of the Wander Lodges had the 6V92 engine, which is the same one that the fire truck has. So that website is a great resource for this type of thing. And lo and behold, they had in the file section, they had a how to read the trouble codes. So I'm going to show you now how to read the trouble codes on a 1991 fire truck, Pierce Lance fire truck. And the system is called the DDEC. I believe it's a DDEC II. So DDEC is DDEC. It stands for Detroit Diesel Engine Control, and it's Generation 2. So we're going to go, and I'm going to show you how that works. So the first thing we're going to do is actually go into the passenger seat. Now, in the DDEC troubleshooting manual, it says in order to get the codes to read out, you're supposed to jump a certain wire on the ECM, the engine control module. And the people who built this truck were nice enough to install a switch that actually does the same thing. It basically just jumps the wire so you can read out the trouble codes. And that switch is installed in the passenger glove box. And I shouldn't call it a glove box because it's mainly just it's a spaghetti dinner in here. It's all of the different wires and electronics and things like that. So I open up the passenger glove box, and if you look very closely there, you can see a flip switch. The bottom says DDEC Diagnostic, obviously Detroit Diesel Engine Control, and as a bonus, we also have the ATEC Diagnostic, and the ATEC is the Allison Transmission Electronic Control. So apparently, the transmission will also attempt to read out trouble codes if the check transmission light comes on. So that's good. So the thing that's challenging, though, is that the switch is in the glove box, and how you actually read the codes is by looking at the check engine light. So you enable the diagnostic mode by flipping the switch down. You have to hold the switch down. It's a momentary switch. So somebody's got to sit in the passenger seat, and then somebody else has to go into the driver's seat and look at the check engine light. And while the switch is being held down, the check engine light will start blinking, and it will blink out a series of blinks that indicate what the trouble code is. So what I'm going to do, this is partly just for me so I can watch the video later and read the trouble codes. I'm going to go set up the camera over in the driver's seat. I'm going to point it at the check engine light, and then I'm going to come back around and I'm going to activate the diagnostic code. So when I turn on the ignition, there's going to be a super obnoxious beep that's just going to go on the whole time. And so you might want to maybe I'll try and edit it out, or headphone users, cover your ears. All right, now I'm going to hold down the diagnostic switch and it should start blinking codes. So that's 2121, 2222, 4, 343, 4, 646. 2. Okay, so we started over. Okay, so all the codes have now been read out. I'm going to release the switch. And that's it. Now we've read out all the codes. And so now the easy part is over. We've collected our codes and we need to go into the diagnostic manual. This is a printout from the forum I mentioned earlier. So we have codes 21, 22, 43, and 46. So let's go check here. '21. Oh, no, it's here. 21. Throttle position. This is what I suspected was going to be the problem, was a bad throttle. A bad throttle controller. So we got 21 indicates a bad throttle controller. 22, a bad throttle controller. 43, low coolant. Well, I know that's not possible because the stop engine light did not come on. So maybe that's an old code that needs to be cleared. I don't know. And then 46, which is low oil pressure. Well, I'm suspect of codes 43. No, actually that's 45. It would help if I could look at the right ones. 46, low battery voltage. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into this some more. I totally believe codes 21 and 22, or what was it here? I believe 21 and 22 just because of the surging and it felt like the engine kind of had a mind of its own. The 44 and 46, 43 and 46, which is the low coolant and low battery, I feel like those might be stored codes. I know there's plenty of coolant in it. Plus, it says here that that a code 43 will cause the stop engine light to come on and will shut off the engine. So I feel like that might be a stored code, but again, my understanding was that pulling the power from the ECM would clear all the codes. So I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this some more. And when I find out what's going on or decide how to fix it, I will post an update. All right. Now you know more useless knowledge from Little Squirt the Fire Engine channel. Bye.